Well, hello, and welcome to the ISTE Young Educator Network podcast. This is episode 12 for May 26th, 2015. This is a show where we talk about integrating technology into the classroom as a young educator. I'm one of your co-hosts, Bill Selleck.
And I am another one of your co-hosts. I'm Jenny Schlee-Reed, and I'm a library media teacher in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And today we're very excited to introduce our 2015 Outstanding Young Educator, Corey Homer. Corey, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, besides the fact that you're outstanding?
Because I'm outstanding. Oh, hello everyone. Corey Homer. I'm an integration coach, innovation coach in Crystal Lake, Illinois. Super excited to be part of this group. Very excited that I got the award. Currently, I work in a K district, and I work with technology integration, those type of things. And then I also oversee the middle school STEM program. So we partner with Northwestern University, and we're working with them to create this new challenge-based program for our students. And it's been a huge hit. We just finished our first year.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
All right, so today we're going to start with some of our epic yen moments, those good ed tech experiences that we had. And I'm also really excited because I was actually chosen to get Bill's former award, the KL Better Vision Award for 2015.
All right, no more. That's awesome, though. Congrats. Tell us a little bit about what the KL Better Vision Award is.
Well, it goes to educators who show that, basically that they've made an impact with working with students pre-K through second grade. And as a library media teacher at an elementary school, I focus, obviously, half of my students are K through 2. And so the big thing that I focus on with them in that role is not the whole, a first grader or a kindergartner can't do something, but how could they use an app that maybe we wouldn't have thought of before. So just an example of something, and this could be my epic moment of the month, is students in first grade, for example, earlier in this year worked with older students, with my fourth graders, on how to use Keynote. Essentially, it's very hard to teach 30 first graders how to do something, but if you bring in some third graders and help them do it and pair them up, it kind of turns into a teaching opportunity for those older kids, but also it develops really cool tech buddies. And off of that, first graders now kind of understood how to find pictures, how to save pictures that were okay to use and put them on their camera roll. So then I actually taught them how to use Explain Everything. Very simply at first, we just essentially, I told them to draw a picture, then describe what they were drawing, and then the next time we used it, instead of recording their voice after it, they recorded their voice while they drew it. So it was just like a good experience, just a hands-on trying out the app. Then this kind of led into our research of zoo animals, because first grade in our school go to the zoo every first grade. And so they got to pick an animal, did some research on basic things like body and food. And then after they did that research, they were able to take one day, go look for pictures of their animal. Then the next day, put those pictures into and Explain Everything. And now this week, we have to record their voices as they teach us what they learned. So that's just an example of something where I kind of demonstrate this in teamwork with teachers to show them how could they integrate this technology in a meaningful way to just enrich what they're already covering in their classroom. So that was my epic yen moment of the month, and I was excited to go to my school board actually today just before this and get a certificate for receiving that award as well. So that's mine. How about you, Bill?
That's awesome. Congrats again.
Thank you.
So mine is Slice of ISTE. So if you are going to be at ISTE in Philadelphia, a handful of us are starting something called Slice of ISTE. Have you guys seen this on Ellen with Rosa's Fresh Pizza? I think Oprah even interviewed them. Here's how it works. It's okay if you haven't. I'm going to explain it either way, I suppose. You go to Rosa's Fresh Pizza, you buy a slice of pizza because pizza is awesome, and then you can also donate $1, and they put a little Post-it note up on the wall, and then if you're in need of food, you can go to Rosa's, pull down a Post-it note, and use that to redeem that for a free slice of pizza. So often, when, at least for myself, when I go to a conference, I kind of descend upon the conference and I think, all right, what can I get out of this? But don't really think about the community or the people in the community. So this is a chance for us to eat pizza and give back to the community. So I put a little link over in the side, a blog post that Scott Bedley gave, and then you can also follow at Slice of ISTE on the Twitters. So I'm going to be eating some pizza and helping some other folks. So Corey, what is your latest EduWin, sir?
EduWin. I'm new to this, so I have to figure this one out. So I am working with a 7th grade language arts teacher right now, and because the end of the year is coming up and we're trying to figure like a nice project that summarizes the entire year, we went the TED route. So what we've been actually doing is we're creating like a TEDx event for her class. So her AM and PM classes are working together, and we're having these students, that built on the culture of ideas worth spreading. And the kids are making these end-of-year presentations that are topics of interest that they found throughout the entire year, and they're summarizing them and do that, that 3 to 8 minute speech. We will be hosting it for parents and for admins, so we're super excited about that. It's happening next week. But it's been great because we've watched TED videos in class before. It's one of our go-to resources, but we've never actually taken a look at the videos and see what makes up a video. So the kids are really analyzing them, classifying, going through them, and then they're finding these other videos like, how do I create my own TED video? So the kids are working super hard. They're working in groups. They're really engaged. You get to choose topics of interest to them, and then they're making these TED videos, or they're making these TED presentations that they'll be presenting next week. That's, it's going to be just a great way to end their 7th grade year. So it's been a fun project. So far, so good, and we'll see how it goes next week.
That's awesome. Have you used TED Ed?
Yeah, so that we've always pulled from TED as a resource, but we've never really dove into the websites. So the TED Ed's been really good. We're looking at doing the TED Ed Club next year. Their website has every resource in the world when it comes to creating a TEDx event, to even a step-by-step how to make a proper TED presentation. So the kids are finding these resources as we do this project. So what we thought TED was, we're just expanding our knowledge of it as well. So yeah, it's been great.
Cool. And for those of you listening, if you go to ed.ted.com, say that 5 times, you can actually create your own lesson that will take a TED Talk, and you can build a lesson around that. So it's not just watch this TED Talk, it becomes a standalone website. So it's really cool.
And they have other ones too that are just I can't remember the other name of them. Basically, they're just content related too. So it's more than just the TED videos, but it's more content about the periodic table and other topics like that. It's a great resource for any classroom.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Some of you may be wondering who's down here, at least down there for me, looking at his picture. We have Rushton Hurley. Can you guys believe it? I can't. This is amazing. So if you don't know Rushton, Rushton was a Japanese language teacher, was a principal in an online school, and in his bio it says he is a successful social benefit entrepreneur. Sounds so cool. But I actually knew him first through Next Vista, where he's the executive director at nextvista.org. He's also worked with the global production lead at the Krauss Center for Innovation, and he's the president of the Rotary E-Club. The E stands for electronic. The Rotary E-Club of Silicon Valley. So he keynotes around the world. He is an overall just awesome guy. So Rushton, welcome.
Thanks. Good to be here.
It's good to have you here.
Cool. And do I get to toss in an epic yen moment, even though the why doesn't completely apply to me?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So this will be one of many times that I do kind of promotion of my own business. Right. And so we just finished a service video contest, and so we've got the winners. We announced the winners just a week ago, and I'll toss that link in the document for you, just in here somewhere. You can kind of figure out where it is later. Bam, there it is. And if people want to see short videos that were made by kids telling about little charities in their, or maybe not so little charities in their communities that are kind of doing different things to help others, and kids, essentially researched the charities and contacted them and decided, okay, we're gonna tell your story in a short video. And so all of the finalists earned donations to the charities they highlighted, and the 4 winning videos, they got gift cards and certificates for the teams that put it together. EduWin.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your own Epic Yen moment. See, you're catching right along. I wanted to start off by asking you, being a library media teacher, we look at collections of all different types, and I'm really kind of curious what made you decide to start a video library?
Cool. I started it 10 years ago, as a matter of fact. I started about the same time as YouTube. They have been somewhat more, successful, well-known, however you like to put it. But I mean, I had a much more focused idea, which was, okay, you've got all of these kids walking around schools, especially like middle school and high school, who have kind of lost their confidence that they can learn anything. And it kind of happens this way, like a kid's in class and the teacher's explaining something, and the kid thinks, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so like the first time that happens, they'll go to the teacher and say, I didn't understand. And the teacher gives them the same explanation they didn't understand the first time. And after a couple of these times, they're like, well, it must be me. I'm no good at fill in the blank. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if kids, instead of having those moments of I'm no good at it, instead they thought, if someone explained this to me differently, I'd get it, which is true, right? And so they just need to know it and be able to say it. And so I thought, well, one way to help them learn to do that would be to have this online video library where people in very short videos say, okay, this topic, it's like this, it relates to this, think of it this way. And so 5 minutes or less. And I thought that'd be really helpful. And I told a friend, and the friend was like, you should do that. And there you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So I just shared a link to one of those, the contest that was just announced. That was your Epic Yen moment. What are these contests you speak of at nextvista.org?
You're a good man. There are two kinds of contests we run. All right. One of these academic video contests. So short video, matter of fact, very short, 90 seconds or less, creatively explain something one might encounter in school. And you have up to another 60 seconds for your citations. Like we're just Nazis about no, you have to use these sites because it's Creative Commons licensed material and not any Creative Commons, it's these sites, right? And then you're supposed to cite them in a particular way. And that's actually one of those things that kids tend not to do until somebody makes them do it. And a lot of teachers don't want to be the bad guy that says, even though I told you 6 times, I'm tired of fighting it, so whatever. And if somebody on the outside says, wonderful video, can you change it out for the ones that are listed in the rules? Right? If so, we'd be happy to post it and consider it in the contest. And so that allows teachers to really get a lot of kids into the mode of using Creative Commons licensed material properly. And what they end up with are these really cool creative pieces, right? So we get all kinds of, because it's not much more specific than that, right? Creatively explain something one might encounter in school. So while we do get videos of, well, this is PEMDAS. Actually, I use that as an example. No more PEMDAS videos, right? That kind of thing. Still, we get some kind of funky ones as well. Like some years ago when we first started doing this, we got one called How to Be Sneaky. Like that was the title, How to Be Sneaky. And I'm it's these 2 girls who are like, don't be hungry because your stomach could rumble and like move along the wall and all of these things. It's an awesome video, right? I'm thinking, which class did you learn this in, right? Which topic was that? And so anyway, we just came up with a new category for them, and the category is called Inspiration and Creativity, which we think sounds a lot better than we had no idea what to do with your video. In that same category, you'll find this is the title. This is the actual title of the video. How to make a sword with an oxyacetylene torch and a grinder. If you were needing to learn that, then we have the video for you. Showed it to my buddy Todd, who helped me kind of get the everything going with NextVista, and he looked at it and I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Other than to report the kid to the FBI, I don't know, And so there you go. We have this kind of special category for how to make peanut butter sandwiches, right? And it works out whatever. There's a lot of fun videos in there. But then the kids just come up with these really cool ways of thinking about things as well. Like the winner of our fall contest was a video called Literally, right? And it's this high school kid talking about the word literally and how it can mean both actually and virtually, right? I mean, it can mean both, and that's crazy, right? So, but he talks about it from the standpoint of how language evolves, and he does all this within 90 seconds, which is cool. And what we do is we essentially say, okay, we get all these submissions. For almost all of them, we send feedback. I say we, it's me. I send feedback to the kids saying, hey, like this about the video, didn't see, you got music, no credit, can you fix that? And they have to actually kind of raise the game to get the video where it needs to be before we'll post it. But then, we've got kind of this cool set, and we have some small set of finalists and a group of teachers around the world. If any of you want to become teachers who judge our contest, it's like 30 minutes of your time, 3 times a year. If you can handle that, you're in. Let me know. And then we pick winners, and all the finalists get gift cards. How much? $25. That's not much. Better than getting hit by a truck, isn't it? And the winners get $50 cards. And so we have 3 strands: teacher, student, and collaboration, for when the teachers and students work together to edit and/or plan the video. So that's like the academic videos. And then we have service videos, right? And so once a year we ask kids to get to know charities in their community, and it's kind of like what I was talking about a minute ago, just being able to say, oh, okay, this is who these people are, and this is why what they do is cool, and this is how you could get involved. And a lot of charities have kind of come back and said, oh, we really love the video that these kids made. Can we put it on the site? Of course you can put it on the site, right? So we just love seeing kids kind of raise their game. That's kind of the goal, is to get kids to achieve a certain kind of excellence, because they know that their audience is broader than just the classroom. Something I kind of say in like every talk I've ever given, right, which is, if kids know that other kids will see their work, they want it to be good, but if it's just for the teacher, they want it to be good enough. And so I like that, having that larger audience means that kids will do some really cool things.
I like that a lot. I also threw in a link. It's actually nextvista.org/literally.
That is that video, exactly.
Yeah.
There is actually another aspect to the contest as well. The best video made with the WeVideo tool earns a GoPro camera.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot better than $25 gift card, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know about being one of the teachers that judges them as well. It sounds like a fun little project.
Absolutely. Email me, and I'll get you in that for sure.
Cool. So, looking through your video collection and everything there, like, how does technology relate to the leadership? So, technology seems. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So when you think about technology, right? I mean, a lot of what we deal with, is in this space of oh, that's cool, and there's nothing wrong with that, because it's compelling, but it's where we take it that becomes that which allows us to show that we're moving our school in an interesting direction. I think one of the things that you see in a lot of schools is that individual teachers are doing great things, and so some percentage of the of the staff is kind of making more interesting things happen. But it's a different thing to look at technology and say, is this creating on our staff a culture of exploration where people are sharing really interesting ideas on a regular basis? They're getting away from just the standard kind of conversations in the the lounge of just like whine, moan, complain, or something like that, and they're really in the, oh wow, did you see this thing? This is really, did you see what these kids did? That's the kind of conversation that creates a much better atmosphere in the school. And so as a leader, how do you help make that happen? And so I see technology as a vehicle for creating the kind of staff, kind of morale, the kind of staff momentum that makes for a great school. And I get the chance to talk about that with folks in a lot of different places, and there's a lot of good examples out there, right? Like I was at a conference a few years ago in Singapore, right? And the superintendent of the Singapore American Schools was greeting everyone who was at this conference. We're very proud to be hosting this Google Apps Summit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he's talking about all these kinds of normal things you'd hear someone say. Then he said this, so there's all these people that are not just from that school. He said, I'm very pleased to see all of the teachers from the Singapore American Schools participating in this, and to all of you, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. And you're like, whoa, what's that, right? You have my permission to innovate wildly. And there was just kind of one of those moments of like, whoa, did he just say that? Twitter, right? You know, I mean, like that was just so ridiculously edgy awesome that I was just like, oh my God. You know, and so, you know, that sense of how do you come across as a leader to your team? Are you a person who explores? Are you a person who uses tech in interesting ways, right? Or are you a person who, for example, gathers your staff and then says a bunch of things to them that could have been read in an email? Ouch, right? So hopefully, you know, you're using technology to create the best out of the time you've got with your team and to get the best out of them.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find the unmuting button. Sorry. So to kind of go along with that, I was kind of curious. I don't know if it had something to do with leadership or what, but I know there's this thing called the Online Rotary Club, and I was curious what that's all about.
So a lot of people know about Rotary, you know, kind of a little bit because maybe a parent or a grandparent or, you know, granddaddy was a Rotarian, you know, that kind of stuff. And you see these signs as you drive into a town, you know, Rotary Club meets at, you know, blah, 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 at noon on Thursday, that kind of stuff. So it's that Rotary, service above self. That's this 1.2 million people around the world who are, you know, part of Rotary clubs that typically meet for lunch, you know, or something. But in the last 11 years, Rotary has been working to figure out what online clubs can be in terms of this focus on service and trying to make good things happen for others. And I led a team that started the Rotary E-Club of Silicon Valley in January. And so, you know, our goal is to have an online meeting that meets the kind of expectations of somebody going to a good kind of traditional club, right? But also uses tech in interesting ways. How can we use technology to serve the business of service, right? And so through that, we've started exploring a number of different possibilities with you know, mentorships. You know, we might be able to do some other things we've launched to help some other nonprofits out as well. But also we meet asynchronously, right? So one of the reasons that some people never join Rotary, one reason is that they think, well, I never could. You know, I can't go to a lunch meeting once a week. But for our club, you just log in anytime between Monday morning and Sunday night, and you go through the 45-minute or so meeting, and you know, do the little thing at the end and add your comment in the discussion, and you're done. And so it's really, really flexible. So anybody who's got some sense of kind of community leadership is important. Community service is important. A lot of teachers are kind of in that category of not just doing things at their schools, but making things happen in the community. These are all people who should be considering joining service clubs, because that's one of those things that, you know, as we go, you know, from being, you know, kind of out of college for a few years, we start figuring out, wait, we can make a difference in our communities, and this is one way that people do it. And through something like Rotary, you know, you've got this kind of connection to, I mean, 1.2 million people around the world. You know, I'm visiting Istanbul. Well, I think I'll go to a Rotary Club, and suddenly people are talking to you, and you know, it's cool. So it's a lot of fun for me. I know the link is there, SiliconValleyRotary.com. And I'd love for people to, you know, kind of give it a look and just see what they think and give feedback. You know, we can improve. You know, we can improve what we're doing. So, you know, the more people who are giving it a look, the better. We're also doing a fundraiser right now. All right, and that's like a pair of 12-second videos. 12 seconds. Can you give us 12 seconds, right? And we earn a little bit of money every time those videos are viewed. So, like, tell everyone you know to watch them 10 times each. How much did you earn each time? A half cent. Wow, you'd have to watch a bunch. Yep, but that's the thing, you know. So if we share it wildly enough, we think we'll get some good things out of it.
That is awesome, and I think that that's a great way to connect, like just what you said about technology leadership. I mean, I think that's a great segue into connecting our community and, you know, kind of reinventing something that, like you said, has been around since our grandparents' grandparents were doing it. So I think that's really awesome.
Cool.
Well, now it's time for us to jump down into segment 3, which is our favorite recent EdTech tools. And a few months ago, I think it was actually 2 months ago, I wanted to talk about the Stick Around app by Tony Vinson and the people from Explain Everything, which is the app I just talked about, essentially, but we ran out of time that night. And I don't want to spend too much time on it, but essentially it's a really cool iPad app that allows teachers to make puzzles for students, to do anything from finding different states in the United States to doing a water flow chart, just a variety of interactive things that you can do with it, from labeling and puzzles and sorting out things and classifying. So it's definitely a skill that, at least at my elementary school, a lot of our teachers are really embracing and using. And I definitely encourage you to check it out. I could see it being used in educators really at any grade level, and just for fun on your own free time, I suppose, as well. How about you, Bill?
So, the Lily camera. First of all, I love that the URL is lily.camera, not .com. It's really cool. I want to have like bill.camera just because I can. So, Lily camera is like a true flying camera. You throw it up in the air, and instead of being like a drone that you need a remote control or take your phone or remote control, you just toss it and it just hovers. And then there's simple commands. You wear like a hockey puck thing on your wrist and you push buttons, and there's only a couple choices. It'll follow you. If it knows where you're going, it will lead in front of you. It can loop around you. If you're like on a mountaintop, it can hover up above you, and it always knows where you are because you're wearing the hockey puck thing on you. And it flies for about 20 minutes, which is actually pretty decently long for a drone. So the point of it is not to actually fly and control and be like, oh, look at the cool things, and it can gimbal and this and that. Is that a verb? Do you gimbal? I don't know. But anyway, it sounds amazing. I think it would be so cool to do like a flyover of a school for, you know, like first day of school, those types of things. And then think about the field trips. You know, our school over at Hillbrook, we go to Marin Headlands, which for those of you that don't know is just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Right? Doing like a flyover of that and seeing like the Golden Gate in the background. That sounds unbelievable. So I ordered one for our school. As far as drones go, they're actually decently cheap. It's $500 for the pre-order for the next month, and then they ship like next February, and then they like double in price. But the video is unbelievable. Lily.camera, so Lily drones. So yeah, I bought a drone that can videotape me. So Rushton, look out! Our students are gonna have some crazy videos, you know, in a year.
That sounds pretty crazy cool to me. Speaking of crazy cool, two things for you real quick. One is I love WeVideo.com, not just because they support my little nonprofit with our contest, but because, you know, it's cool to have an online video editor. If you've got a bunch of Chromebooks and you're like, we don't have anything to do online video, yeah, you do. So there's the free editor and the premium editor. It's kind of like a lot of online tools, right? But they seem to have hit it right. Like the free tool is good enough for everybody to be using, right? But they offer some really cool stuff in the premium, so you know you've got kind of a legitimate choice between the two. And then I also wanted to mention a really cool little tool I learned from Morris Acevedo at Cardinal Newman High School up in Santa Rosa today, called RhythmCat. And RhythmCat is an app for iOS that allows kids to very quickly learn to read like quarter notes and half notes and dotted half notes and whole notes and that kind of thing. So nice little free app there for the iPad.
Cool. The one I want to talk about, this one's actually just 2 months old. If you guys ever, I know BuzzFeed is the weird comparison to make, but BuzzFeed's big on like the top 10, the 10s of these, 5 of these. There's a new one called Riddle, and it's still in beta, came out like 2 months ago, but the idea behind it is creating quick and easy visual polls and quizzes, or they do like the top 10. So it's quick and easy. The kids can simply just throw 10 different things in there, throw a little text below it, but they can be embedded in any website, shared out in any form. But they're quick and easy, but they also have that like little quiz feature. They have a little personality test. You can do a little pop quiz, and they, you know, it's a survey tool, so the kids can get quick access to the responses of their other classmates, or they can post it out there on Twitter or whatever they might use and let anyone answer it. And it's really quick and easy. It's brand new. You don't see it in education much yet. It's more of that like social media tool, but I can see it in the classroom being pretty popular pretty soon. And that's Riddle.
That sounds awesome. I'm going to check that out. I was actually looking at it just now.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's in beta right now. Who knows if it'll go paid later on, but right now it's free and it's quick and easy to create.
Heck yeah. Cool. Well, I'd like to give a shout out. Our Epic Yen tweet of the month goes to Kristen Sirocco. She's on the Twitters, as my mom calls it, as K Sirocco. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. She shared a photo taking apart tech to discover how things work. So instead of a maker's lab, it looks like they had a breaker's lab. So it looked like those students were having a lot of fun, doing a whole lot of learning. So congratulations, Kristen. You are featured Epic Yen Tweet of the Month. For those young educators or just folks that think that anything might appeal to young educators, use that hashtag Epic Yen. And the Yen is Young Educator Network. And the Epic stands for, Epic.
Also, we have an online community at isti.org/yen. Yen, I'm new to this, remember? Yen. I'm still understanding all this. But if you post the discussion board that's online community, educators can connect. We'll feature you on the next month's podcast. And again, that's isti.org/yen.
And remember, if you have shout-outs and feedbacks on any kind of sessions, workshops, keynotes, etc. that you are attending and you want to shout it out to us, remember to use the hashtag EpicYen, and also join our Google Plus community and on our ISTE online community at isti.org/yen, Y-E-N, to connect with other young educators from around the world, pose questions, get discussions going. And we're so excited to announce we're going to do one more Google Hangout before ISTE 2015. We'll do other Hangouts after that, but this is the last one before ISTE on Monday, June 22nd, right here at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll just be giving a lot of great tips. So those of you who've never attended ISTE before, great tips. Last year was my first year. But those of you that have some wonderful tips or just want to know some ins and outs of ISTE, please tune in for some of those.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening to the ISTE Young Educator Network podcast. Thanks to the crew. You can find me on the Twitters. I am at Bill Sullick.
I am at Shlee Reed.
I am at EdCheck channel.
I am at Rushton H.
And I get to do the exit, right?
You do, yes.
You got to play cool, Corey.
So again, remember, join us on Google Plus or isti.org/yen to connect with young educators from around the world. We're excited to see everyone next month at ISTE at the end of June, and super excited. Then Epic Yen, right? That's what Yen.
Yes. Let's all do that together. You guys ready? Here's where we awkwardly try and count and we never get it right. All right. So 3, 2, 1. Epic Yen.